My name is Gina Raebel, and I believe that business leaders need a standardized international code of conduct. The primary problem with international business ethics lies in the fact that most cultures, most nations hold very different standards, not only for laws, but for ethics as well. Employment practices are just not constant from nation to nation. Many businesses tend to take on ethics exhibited by the nation in which they're doing business as opposed to bringing their own ethics across cultural boundaries. If a code of conduct is not in place, it allows multinational companies to take advantage of unethical employment practices in less developed countries. I think code standardization is key to making adherence possible and consistent from one multinational corporation to the next. Compliance must be mandatory. Processes must be put in place to measure success, and that adherence has to be monitored by a third party. No one government can implement laws to enforce international business ethics and then expect those laws to be obeyed by all nations around the world. The only body that can legitimately exert some kind of power over international governance is the United Nations. I believe that the UN should draft a code of conduct that must be adhered to by all multinational companies. For this code of conduct to have any kind of strength or enforcement, the UN needs to enlist a legal agency as well, an agency that has resources to investigate and prosecute breaches of ethical employment or non-compliance with environmental standards. So what can corporations do? I believe they should set the tone at the top. Leadership has an obligation to basic human rights, an obligation to act fairly to others. Unethical liberties must have financial consequences. Management has the responsibility to demonstrate through their actions the importance of ethical business practices. They need to lead by example. Solely relying on written rules and policies is just not adequate. There needs to be direct, clear communication and training company-wide regarding behavioral expectations for everyone. Expectations like financial transparency, expectations like equal pay for equal work, intolerance for discrimination, minimizing or offsetting environmental impact, the obligation to report unethical activities, or in Volkswagen's case, the ability to say, we've made a mistake, to admit a mistake. Most importantly, businesses should not conduct business with other corporations that do not have ethical principles in place, because that will just perpetuate the problem.